Let's be honest, Nina. You're just a secretary at some no-name company, and I'm a senior associate at Morrison and Klein earning $280,000 a year. So my attorney and I both agree I should get the house, both cars, and honestly, you should just be grateful I'm not asking for alimony, Marcus announced, dropping a manila folder on my desk while his lawyer stood behind him nodding smugly. I looked down at the divorce papers, then up at the building directory visible through my office's glass wall. The one that clearly listed Nina Okafor, CEO and founder, Titan Solutions Incorporated, in bold letters at the top. What Marcus didn't know, what he'd somehow never bothered to learn in our 8 years of marriage, was that the $340 million company he was standing in, the building he'd parked his leased BMW in, and the office he'd just walked through were all mine. And his lawyer was about to have a very bad day. But let me back up 6 months, because this story needs context to fully appreciate the spectacular nature of Marcus's ignorance. My name is Nina Okafor, and I'm a software engineer who built something extraordinary while my husband thought I was playing office. I founded Titan Solutions 8 years ago, the same year I married Marcus. The company specializes in enterprise resource planning software for mid-sized manufacturing companies. We help factories optimize production, manage supply chains, and reduce costs. It's not sexy work. Nobody makes movies about ERP software, but it's incredibly lucrative. When I started Titan Solutions, I was 26 years old with $40,000 in savings and an idea. I worked from our apartment's second bedroom while Marcus was at law school. I coded 18-hour days. I landed my first client, a small auto parts manufacturer in Ohio, and made $80,000 in year one. Marcus barely noticed. He was focused on law school, on making law review, on landing at a prestigious firm. When he'd ask about my little project, I'd give vague answers and he'd nod and go back to his case studies. By year 2, I had 6 clients and $600,000 in revenue. I hired 2 employees. I rented a small office. Marcus asked me once if I was making any real money yet. I said, some, and he seemed satisfied. By year 4, we had 23 clients and $4.2 million in annual revenue. I'd raised a small seed round, $2 million from a local angel investor. We moved to a larger office, hired 15 employees. Marcus never asked for details. He'd graduated by then, landed at Morrison and Klein, and was working brutal hours to make partner track. When he came home, he'd complain about his cases, his billable hours, his difficult partners. I'd listen, supportive, and never mention that my company had just signed a $1.8 million contract with a manufacturing conglomerate. Why didn't I tell him? Pride, partly. I wanted him to ask. I wanted him to show interest in my work the way I showed interest in his. But he never did. By year 6, Titan Solutions had 50 employees, $28 million in revenue, and had raised a Series A round valuing us at $120 million. My equity stake was worth approximately $84 million on paper. I bought our house, a 4-bedroom colonial in a nice suburb of Chicago, with cash. Marcus thought we'd gotten a mortgage. I didn't correct him. When he bragged to his law firm friends about our house, I said nothing. I also bought the building where Titan Solutions operated, a renovated industrial space in Chicago's West Loop. Marcus never visited my office. Too busy, he'd say when I suggested it. By year 8, earlier this year, we'd grown to 140 employees. Revenue hit $67 million. We were preparing for a Series B round that would value us at $340 million. My personal net worth, including my equity stake and the real estate I'd acquired, was approximately $180 million. Marcus had no idea. He knew I worked in tech. He knew I had something to do with software. But he'd never asked what my title was, never asked to see my office, never questioned how we could afford our lifestyle on his $280,000 salary alone. Because here's what Marcus also didn't know. I'd been paying for everything. The house. Mine. The cars, a Tesla Model S and a Range Rover he thought were leased. I owned them. The vacation to Italy last year? I paid. The country club membership he used to network? My credit card. Marcus contributed nothing financially to our marriage. His salary went into his personal account, which he spent on expensive suits, client dinners, and apparently, as I'd recently discovered, a girlfriend. Her name was Sienna. She was a paralegal at his firm. 26 years old. I found out about her 2 months ago when a charge for a hotel room appeared on our credit card. The card I paid for, in both our names, that I'd stupidly given him access to. I confronted him. He didn't deny it. "You're never around," he said. "You're always working on your little computer thing. Sienna makes me feel important. Your little computer thing, that was worth $340 million. I told him I wanted a divorce. He said, fine. But I'm taking the house. I'm the primary earner here. The primary earner. The man whose salary I could pay 3 times over from my quarterly bonuses alone. I hired a lawyer. A very good one. And I waited. Which brings us to today. Marcus had texted me that morning. "Coming by your office at 2 p.m. with my lawyer. Time to finalize this." I'd replied, "Fine." I'd spent the morning preparing. I'd asked my general counsel, a brilliant attorney named Yolanda West, to be present. I'd had my CFO, Michael Torres, print out financial statements. I'd reviewed every asset, every account, every piece of documentation. At 1:55 p.m., I watched from my office as Marcus entered the building. I have a corner office on the 4th floor with glass walls overlooking the main workspace. From my desk, I can see the lobby, the reception area, and the building directory mounted on the wall by the elevators. Marcus walked past it without looking. His lawyer, a man in an expensive suit who I later learned was named Douglas Hammond, followed him. They checked in with reception. "We're here to see Nina Okafor," Marcus said. Our receptionist, Amy, smiled professionally. "One moment, please." She called my extension. "Ms. Okafor, your 2 o'clock is here." "Send them up," I said. They took the elevator to the 4th floor. Walked past the open workspace where 140 employees were coding, analyzing data, managing projects. Past the conference rooms with Titan Solutions logos on the doors. Past the wall of awards, fastest growing tech company, best enterprise software, top 100 companies to watch. Marcus noticed none of it. They reached my office. The door was open. My assistant Priya gestured them in. Marcus walked in first. He looked around at my office, 800 square feet, floor-to-ceiling windows, custom desk, expensive art on the walls, and seemed puzzled. "Nice office," he said. "Did they give you an upgrade or something?" "Something like that," I said. "Have a seat." He and his lawyer sat in the chairs across from my desk. Yolanda sat to my right. Neither Marcus nor his lawyer seemed to register her as an attorney. "Let's make this quick," Marcus said. "I've got a client dinner at 6. "Of course." He slid the manila folder across my desk. "Standard divorce agreement." My lawyer drew it up. Pretty straightforward. I opened it. "Read the first page." The second page. My eyebrows went up. "This says you're requesting the house, both vehicles, and half of my savings and investments." "That's right. I'm being generous by not asking for alimony." "Generous," I repeated. "Nina, let's be realistic. You work as a secretary or something at this tech company. I'm a senior associate at one of Chicago's top law firms. My attorney and I both agree that given the disparity in our earning potential. What do you think I do here?" I interrupted. He blinked. "I don't know. Something administrative? You work with computers." "Marcus, what's my title?" "I don't. Does it matter?" I looked at his lawyer. "Mr. Hammond, did you do any discovery before drawing up these papers? Did you research my employment, my assets, my income?" Hammond shifted uncomfortably. "Mr. Turner assured us you were employed in an administrative capacity with minimal assets. And you believed him without verification? We saw no reason to." I stood up and walked to the glass wall of my office. Pointed at the building directory visible from where we stood. "Can you read that, Marcus?" He squinted. "What?" "The directory. The names and titles. Can you read the top line?" He stood up, walked closer, and read aloud. "Nina Okafor, CEO and founder, Titan Solutions Incorporated." He turned to me, confused. "That's someone with your name?" "No, Marcus. That's me. I'm the CEO and founder of Titan Solutions. This company. The one you're standing in right now." His lawyer's face went pale. "Titan Solutions," I continued, "is an enterprise software company that I founded 8 years ago, the same year we got married. We have 140 employees, $67 million in annual revenue, and we're valued at $340 million. I own 62% of the company, which means my equity stake alone is worth approximately $210 million. The room was silent. "I also," I said, walking back to my desk, "own this building. I purchased it 4 years ago for $12 million. It's now worth approximately $18 million. I own our house, Paid cash, no mortgage. I own both cars. I've been paying for everything in our marriage while you've spent your salary on suits and hotel rooms with Sienna. Marcus had sat back down. He looked like he might be sick. Yolanda opened her laptop. We've prepared a comprehensive asset disclosure. Ms. Okafor's total net worth, including business equity, real estate, and investment accounts, is approximately $180 million. Mr. Turner's net worth is approximately $85,000, primarily in his checking account and 401k. Hammond was frantically taking notes. Now, I said, let's discuss what's actually going to happen in this divorce. I'm keeping the house, which I own. I'm keeping both cars, which I own. I'm keeping my company, which I founded and built while you were busy not paying attention to your wife's career. Nina, I didn't know. You didn't ask. In 8 years of marriage, you never once asked what my company did, what my role was, how much we made. You just assumed I was playing office, while you were the real success story. If you'd known I was wealthy, you would have paid attention? That's supposed to make me feel better. His lawyer cleared his throat. Ms. Okafor, my client was clearly misinformed about the marital assets. Perhaps we can discuss a more equitable distribution. There's nothing to distribute, Yolanda interrupted. Ms. Okafor founded her company before the marriage. She purchased all major assets with funds from her business. Illinois is not a community property state. Mr. Turner has no claim to her premarital business or assets purchased with separate funds. The house was purchased during the marriage, with Ms. Okafor's separate business income, clearly traceable through business accounts. No commingling of marital funds. She has documentation for every transaction. I pulled out my own folder. Here's my counterproposal. I keep everything I own. You keep your 401k and checking account. We split the furniture. You can have whatever you want from the house. And I'll give you $100,000 as a settlement, which is more than generous considering you contributed nothing financially to this marriage. $100,000? Marcus sputtered. You're worth $180 million and you're offering me $100,000? Be grateful I'm offering anything. I could offer zero and my lawyers would support it. Hammond was reading through the documents Yolanda had provided. His face got progressively more grim. Mr. Turner, he finally said, I think we should accept this offer. Are you insane? She's worth $180 million that she earned herself with a business she founded before your marriage. You have no legal claim to it. If we go to trial, you'll get nothing and spend $50,000 in legal fees. Take the $100,000. Marcus looked at me with something between shock and betrayal. I can't believe you're doing this. I can't believe you walked into my office, in my building, at my company, and told me I was just a secretary who should be grateful you're not asking for alimony. If I'd told you, would you have loved me more? Would you have not cheated with Sienna? Would you have been faithful? I leaned forward. The problem, Marcus, isn't that you didn't know I was successful. It's that you didn't respect me when you thought I wasn't. He had no answer to that. 20 minutes later, they left. Hammond took my counter-proposal, promising to review it with his client. Marcus walked out looking dazed. I watched them leave the building. Watched Marcus walk past the directory again, this time stopping to stare at my name at the top. Yolanda started laughing. I've been practicing law for 20 years. That's the most satisfying case I've ever handled. He really thought I was a secretary. He really did. The look on his face when you told him you owned the building, I'll remember that forever. The divorce finalized 6 weeks later. Marcus took the $100,000. Moved in with Sienna. Last I heard, they broke up 3 months later when she found out he was broke. I kept everything I'd built. The company. The house. The cars. The life I'd created while he wasn't paying attention. And I learned something valuable. The people who underestimate you aren't worth bringing along when you succeed. They won't appreciate the journey because they never believed in the destination. Marcus thought I was a secretary with a dead-end job. I was the CEO of a $340 million company, standing in a building I owned, about to offer him the most generous gift of his life, letting him walk away with anything at all. Some people see you. Some people don't. And the ones who don't, they're not your people.